Have you ever wondered how your life might change if you owned fewer things? Welcome to the mindset of minimalism, a philosophy that can be summarized in one simple phrase: less is more. It's not about owning the least amount of items possible, but rather making intentional choices to only keep things that add value to your life. Minimalism is about more than just decluttering. It's about changing the way we think about possessions. It's about quality over quantity, and recognizing that the things we own don't define us. It's about realizing that we don't need to own a lot to be happy. In fact, owning less can actually make us happier. This is because having fewer possessions can reduce stress. Imagine a home where everything has its place, where you never have to search for lost items, and where cleaning takes a fraction of the time. That's the kind of peaceful environment that minimalism can help create. Moreover, minimalism can provide more freedom. When we're not tied down by possessions, we have the freedom to travel, to move, and to spend our time and money on experiences rather than things. We have the freedom to pursue our passions without being held back by the need to maintain and manage a mountain of stuff. In addition, minimalism can increase focus. Without the distraction of clutter and the constant need to buy and maintain things, we can focus on what really matters to us. We can give our full attention to our work, our hobbies, our relationships, and our personal growth. However, there are common misconceptions about minimalism that need to be addressed. Minimalism isn't about living in an empty house, giving up all your possessions, or living a life of deprivation. It's not an all-or-nothing lifestyle. It's about finding the right balance for you, where you have enough to live comfortably, but not so much that your possessions start to control you. Now that we understand what minimalism is and isn't, we can begin the journey to becoming minimalist. Ready to start your minimalist journey? The first step is to take a good look at what you own. Imagine you're standing in a room filled with all your possessions. Now it's time to play the detective and scrutinize each item. Why? Because we're on a mission to identify what truly adds value to our lives and what doesn't. Think of your belongings as an extension of your identity. Each object in your possession tells a story about your interests, your priorities, and your lifestyle. But not all these stories are worth keeping. Some items we hold on to out of habit or because we're clinging to a past version of ourselves that no longer exists. So how do we separate the wheat from the chaff? One practical way is to categorize our belongings. We can split them into groups such as clothing, books, kitchenware, electronics, and so on. This way we can tackle one category at a time, making the process less overwhelming. After categorizing, we need to question the necessity of each item. Ask yourself, do I use this regularly? Does it improve my life in some way? Does it bring me joy? If the answer to any of these questions is no, then perhaps it's time to let that item go. Remember, minimalism isn't about getting rid of everything. It's about making room for what matters. It's about freeing yourself from the weight of unnecessary possessions. It's about living with intentionality and purpose. But don't rush the process. Take your time. It's okay to feel attached to your things. After all, they've been a part of your life. But it's also important to realize when these attachments are holding you back. And don't worry, you're not alone on this journey. There are countless others out there, just like you, taking these same steps towards a more minimalist lifestyle. Once we've evaluated our possessions, we can move on to the next step: decluttering. Now let's dive into the heart of minimalism, decluttering. Imagine it as an art form, a dance of letting go, making room for what truly matters. And like any art, it requires patience, practice, and a dash of strategy. So how do we declutter effectively? Let's break it down. Step 1. Start small. This isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. Perhaps start with a drawer, a shelf, or a corner of the room. This bite-sized approach makes the task less daunting and more manageable. Step 2. Use the one in, one out rule. For every new item that enters your space, one item needs to leave. This rule helps maintain balance and prevents the accumulation of unnecessary items. Step 3. Embrace the box method. This involves placing items you're unsure about in a box. If after 30 days you haven't used or missed any of the items, it's a clear sign they're not essential and can be let go. Step 4. Consider the KonMari method. This Japanese art of decluttering, developed by Marie Kondo, encourages us to keep only what sparks joy. Hold each item, and if it doesn't bring a sense of happiness or utility, thank it for its service and part ways. Remember, decluttering is not about stripping your space bare. It's about making room for what brings you joy and serves a purpose. It's about curating a space that reflects your values and supports your goals. It's also important to note that decluttering isn't a one-time event. It's a continuous process, a lifestyle choice. So, don't rush. Be patient with yourself. Consistency is key. And finally, don't forget to responsibly dispose of or recycle the items you're letting go. Sell them, donate them, or recycle them. It's crucial to minimize waste as we minimize our belongings. With a decluttered space, we are one step closer to a minimalist lifestyle. And remember, the beauty of minimalism doesn't lie in the fewness of things, but in the richness of the space and time that becomes available to us. So, you've decluttered. But how do you maintain this newfound minimalism? The first step is intentional purchasing. It's about being deliberate with what you bring into your life. Think of every new item as an addition to your space and ask yourself, do I genuinely need this? Will it add value to my life? This approach helps keep clutter at bay and reinforces your minimalist mindset. Mindful living is another crucial aspect of maintaining minimalism. It's not just about the physical things. It's also about our time, energy, and attention. Are we mindlessly scrolling through social media? Or are we investing our time in meaningful activities? Are we saying yes to every request? Or are we prioritizing what truly matters? By being mindful, we can declutter not just our spaces, but our minds and lives too. Now let's talk about consumer culture. It's easy to get drawn into the latest trends, the hottest gadgets, the seasonal sales. But remember, every purchase is a choice. And every choice can either support your minimalist lifestyle or detract from it. Resisting consumer culture doesn't mean never buying anything new. It means making mindful decisions that align with your values. Maybe it's choosing quality over quantity, or investing in experiences rather than things. It's about being conscious of the impact of your decisions, not just on your life, but on the environment too. So yes, maintaining minimalism can be challenging, especially in a world that constantly encourages us to want more. But remember, minimalism isn't about deprivation. It's about intention. It's not about having less, but about making room for more. More time, more peace, more joy. And finally, remember that maintaining minimalism is a journey. It's not something you achieve once and then forget about. It's a continuous process of questioning, reflecting, and adjusting. It's about making small, consistent choices that add up to a big impact. Maintaining minimalism is a continuous journey, not a destination. Having embarked on this minimalist journey, what kind of impact can you expect? Let's dive into the profound changes that minimalism can bring about. Firstly, on a personal level, minimalism can be transformative. By choosing to live with less, you create space in your life for what truly matters. You're no longer held captive by the need to acquire more. Instead, you're free to pursue passions, hobbies, and experiences that enrich your life. It's like removing a weight you didn't even know you were carrying. In relationships too, minimalism can be a game changer. By decluttering your life, you declutter your mind. This newfound clarity can enhance your interactions with others, enabling you to forge deeper, more meaningful connections. Anecdotes abound of people who, after adopting minimalism, found they were better able to listen, empathize, and engage with their loved ones. Moving to finances, minimalism can have a profound impact here as well. Living with less means spending less. This can free up resources for paying off debt, saving for the future, or investing in experiences rather than things. Consider this. A recent survey found that 3/4 of people who adopted minimalism reported feeling less financial stress. Lastly, let's not forget the environmental impact. Our consumption-driven society places a heavy toll on our planet. But by choosing to consume less, you're reducing your carbon footprint. Your decision to embrace minimalism is also a decision to be a better steward of the earth. It's a powerful way to contribute to a more sustainable future. So, as you can see, the impact of minimalism is multifaceted. It's not just about having a cleaner, clutter-free home. It's about a cleaner, clutter-free life. It's about gaining freedom, clarity, and a deeper sense of purpose. Embracing minimalism might just be the key to unlocking a more meaningful, focused, and fulfilling life.